Introducing the Current Affairs Workbook. It is an activity-driven learning comprising summaries, quick facts, MCQs, true-false statements, mains practice questions, and ethics case studies, consolidated into a comprehensive workbook. Dive into our monthly magazine summary, a concise overview capturing key insights, events, and trends of the month. Unlock the power of our Quick Facts block, your rapid reference toolkit with essential facts, figures, and critical statistics. Experience our dynamic activities like MCQs and true-false statements to subjective questions and ethics case studies that refine your analytical thinking and articulation skills. Track your progress with our dedicated self-evaluation page, your personal growth monitoring and improvement tool. Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Supreme Court grants permanent commission to a women army officer. IIT Madras tests India's first Hyperloop track. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy approved amendment to ALMM Order 2019. Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways introduced Merchant Shipping Bill 2024 in Lok Sabha. Directorate of Revenue Intelligence released Smuggling in India Report 2023-24. UNESCO Environmental DNA expeditions conducted in World Heritage Marine Sites. A landmark moment in the fight for gender equality in the armed forces. The Supreme Court has granted a permanent commission to a women army officer in the case of Lieutenant Colonel Suprita Chandel versus Union of India and others. The court exercised its extraordinary powers under Article 142 of the Constitution to deliver this significant verdict. Let's delve into the background of this case. Following an amendment in 2013 to the original policy, the Armed Forces Tribunal or AFT had granted relief to other applicants by allowing them a one-time age relaxation. However, Lieutenant Colonel Suprita Chandel was denied this benefit as she was not a party to the original case. In its verdict, the Supreme Court declared that reliefs granted to similarly situated individuals should automatically extend to those who have not litigated their cases. The court supported its decision by citing similar landmark judgments, such as the Amrit Lal Beri case of 1975 and the K.I. Shepherd case of 1987. Now, let's talk about women in the Army and the Permanent Commission. For the first time in 1992, the Centre allowed women to join specific cadres of the Army, such as the Short Service Commission and Army Service Corps. However, until 2020, women were not eligible for permanent commission, meaning they could not serve until the age of retirement. Instead, they were appointed as Short Service Commission officers with a tenure of 10 years, extendable by 4 years. This changed with the Supreme Court's judgment in the Babita Punia and others cases in 2020. The court ordered the grant of permanent commission to women and declared them eligible for command posts. It also held that denying women a permanent commission violated their fundamental right to equality under Article 14. Now, let's focus on Article 142, under which today's ruling was made. This article empowers the Supreme Court to pass any decree or order necessary to ensure complete justice in matters pending before it. Such orders are enforceable across India in a manner prescribed by Parliament or until then, as directed by the President. Today's judgment not only upholds the right of women officers but also reaffirms the Supreme Court's commitment to ensuring equality and justice.
In a groundbreaking achievement for transportation technology, IIT Madras has successfully tested India's first Hyperloop track. This 410-meter-long test track served as a prototype to assess the feasibility of Hyperloop systems in Indian conditions. And here's the exciting part. The Mumbai-Pune route has been identified for India's first full-scale Hyperloop project. So what exactly is Hyperloop? It's a high-speed transportation system consisting of a low-pressure tube through which capsules may travel free of friction and air resistance. It was first proposed by Elon Musk in 2013. Now, let's look at its key components and how it works. The system features near-vacuum tubes to minimize air resistance, allowing capsules or pods to travel efficiently. These pods, carrying passengers or cargo, utilizes magnetic levitation to hover above the track, eliminating ground friction. A compressor sucks air and allows capsules to traverse through low-pressure tubes, while an air-bearing suspension system provides stability and minimizes drag. Propulsion is achieved through linear induction motors, ensuring smooth and swift movement. Now, why is Hyperloop so revolutionary? For starters, it promises exceptional speeds, with the potential to reach up to 1,100 km per hour, though the operational target is around 360 km per hour. What's more, the whole system is environmentally friendly, powered by solar panels, and produces zero emissions. However, Hyperloop faces several challenges. Infrastructure development comes with high initial cost and complexities, including land acquisition and navigating difficult terrain. On the regulatory side, there is an absence of specific regulatory frameworks, safety certification challenges, and adherence to complex environmental laws. Technological barriers also persist, such as limited expertise and the need for comprehensive testing facilities.
The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, or MNRE, has approved a major amendment to the approved models and manufacturers of solar photovoltaic modules, or ALMM Order 2019. This step is aimed at giving a significant boost to domestic solar manufacturing in India. Let's start with the key highlights of this amendment. A new ALMM List 2 for solar PV cells has been introduced. According to this, all solar PV modules used in government-backed projects, net metering projects, and open access renewable energy initiatives must source their solar cells from ALMM List 2. To give you some background, List 1 under the ALMM framework was issued in 2021, mandating the sourcing of PV modules from approved models and manufacturers. However, this new amendment exempts projects that have already been awarded or completed their bidding process before this order's issuance. Moving on, there's a strong focus on promoting technology innovation. Thin film solar modules produced in integrated solar PV module manufacturing units will comply with the requirement to use solar PV cells from List 2nd. The implementation of this amendment is set for June 1, 2026. But challenges persist in India's solar manufacturing sector. The country has inadequate manufacturing capacity and relies heavily on imports, with 62% of solar equipment coming from China, followed by Vietnam and Malaysia. Limited access to affordable technology for mining and processing critical minerals further hampers the production of solar cells and module production. Adding to this are issues like low R&D investment, sourcing difficulties for raw materials, and a shortage of skilled labor. Despite these challenges, the government has been actively promoting domestic solar manufacturing. Some key initiatives include the Production-Linked Incentive Scheme for High-Efficiency Solar PV Modules and the extension of the scheme for development of solar parks and ultra-mega solar power projects up to FY 2025-26. Foreign direct investment, or FDI, of up to 100% is also allowed under the automatic route. Additional measures like the domestic content requirement and the imposition of basic customs duty on imported solar PV cells and modules are also in place to encourage local manufacturing. The amendment to the ALMM order is a clear indication of India's commitment to becoming a leader in renewable energy. As the nation continues to strengthen its solar manufacturing capabilities, this move will undoubtedly play a key role in achieving sustainable energy goals.
In a significant step towards modernizing India's maritime laws, the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways introduced the Merchant Shipping Bill 2024 in the Lok Sabha. This new legislation is set to repeal the Merchant Shipping Act of 1958 and aims to consolidate and amend law relating to merchant shipping to ensure compliance with India's obligation under maritime treaties and international instruments to which India is a party. Now, let's break down the key highlights of this landmark bill. Firstly, it proposes the establishment of a National Shipping Board, which will serve as an advisory body to the central government on matters concerning Indian shipping. The board will also have the authority to regulate its procedures for conducting businesses. Another major provision is the creation of a maritime administration. The central government will appoint a Director General of Maritime Administration to oversee and ensure efficient management of the sector. Additionally, the bill simplifies the process of registering vessels, allowing ownership by Indian citizens, including non-resident Indians and overseas citizens of India, as well as companies or bodies established by any central act or state act, having its registered office of business in India. The bill also addresses the transfer of Indian vessels or their shares. It states that no person shall transfer or acquire any Indian vessel at any time during India's security or any part of territory is threatened by sanction, war, or external aggression and proclamation of emergency. Moreover, in terms of prevention and containment of pollution, vessels must comply with international conventions such as the Marpol Convention and the Anti-Fouling Systems Convention, ensuring adherence to global standards in pollution control. Now, why is the bill needed? For one, it aims to clearly define and simplify ownership criteria for merchant vessels, making operations smoother for Indian flagged vessels. It also streamlines variety of regulations dealing with marine casualties, imposing stricter norms against polluting vessels. Finally, the bill seeks to ensure development of Indian shipping and efficient maintenance of Indian mercantile marine in a manner best suited to serve national interest. Ahead, let's focus on a critical report that sheds light on the challenges of combating smuggling in India. The Directorate of Revenue Intelligence or DRI has released its Smuggling in India report for 2023-24. For those unfamiliar, the DRI, established in 1957, operates as India's apex anti-smuggling agency under the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, part of the Ministry of Finance. Let's first delve into the key findings. During the year, the DRI seized 1,319 kg gold, with smuggling via land routes contributing 55% of seizures and air routes accounting for 36%. The report also highlighted that the quantity of cocaine smuggled into India, primarily through airports, increased by 9%. Additionally, illegal wildlife products were confiscated, including approximately 53 kilograms of elephant tusk. Now, why is India so vulnerable to smuggling? Several factors come into play. India's geographical location places it near major drug trafficking routes such as the infamous Death Crescent, encompassing Afghanistan, Iran, and Pakistan, and the Death Triangle, including Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. The country's extensive borders, including porous land boundaries, difficult terrains, and a sprawling 7,500-kilometer coastline, make monitoring a formidable task. Furthermore, cultural affinity for gold, rising youth population, and demand of narcotics, etc., make India a lucrative market. Economic factors such as differences in tax structures, pricing, for example, gold being cheaper in Dubai and Bangkok, further exacerbate the issue. So, what's the way forward? Collaboration with international agencies is vital. For instance, initiatives like Operation Tentacle by the World Customs Organization target smuggling of currency, diamonds, and gold by airline passengers. Strengthening border and coastal security is equally critical, incorporating measures like integrated border management, enhanced surveillance technology such as thermal imaging and motion sensors, and effective coastal monitoring using radars and patrols. India has already taken steps to counter smuggling. Globally, it aligns with efforts led by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and the Paris Pact Initiative, which builds linkages among counter-narcotic stakeholders. India also enforces the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species or CITES to protect wildlife. In India, initiatives like the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act of 1985 focuses on combating drug trafficking, while the amended Hazardous and Other Waste Management Rules of 2023 address transboundary waste smuggling. The Wildlife Crime Control Bureau is another vital player in curbing illegal wildlife trade.
Moving ahead, let's dive deep into an exciting global initiative that's using cutting-edge science to safeguard our oceans: UNESCO's Environmental DNA or eDNA expeditions. A recent report titled "Engaging Communities to Safeguard Ocean Life" sheds light on the vulnerability of marine species as oceans continue to warm. Let's start by understanding UNESCO's eDNA expeditions. This global citizen science initiative aims to measure marine biodiversity and assess the impacts of climate change on species distribution across UNESCO's World Heritage Marine Sites or WHMS. Between September 2022 and July 2023, eDNA sampling campaigns were conducted across 21 out of 51 such sites. Now, what exactly is eDNA? It's defined as genetic material left behind by organisms in their environment. This includes DNA from cells, tissues, fluids, and even excrement. This material can be collected from environmental samples and analyzed for a detailed picture of marine life. The significance of eDNA cannot be overstated. First, it allows large-scale sampling across geographically vast and distant areas. Its robust technology offers high sensitivity and rapid results compared to traditional biomonitoring methods. Importantly, it's sustainable, being non-invasive and thus having minimal impact on the environment. There's more. eDNA is cost-effective and can even detect rare, transient, and invasive species, such as the invasive lionfish identified in Belize. However, like any technology, eDNA has its limitations. It provides limited data, confirming the presence of organisms but not their number, size, sex, or life stage. Identification can also be a challenge due to gaps in DNA reference databases. Additionally, contamination risks and the high costs of laboratory analysis are hurdles to overcome. Moving on to UNESCO's World Heritage Marine Sites. These sites play a critical role in global marine conservation. They account for over one-fifth of the world's blue carbon ecosystems and store carbon assets equivalent to about 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions. India's Sundarbans National Park is one such site. However, more than 70% of these sites are under threat from climate change, hosting about 35% of threatened marine species. These sites also serve as important proxies for a global network of over 18,000 marine protected areas or MPAs. In India alone, there are 26 MPAs in the peninsular region and 106 in the islands. As climate change accelerates, initiatives like UNESCO's eDNA expeditions offer hope for better understanding and protecting our oceans.
The personality news for today is C. Rajagopalachari. Recently, he was remembered on his birth anniversary. Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, popularly referred to as Rajaji, was born on 10 December in Thurupalli, Tamil Nadu. He was a patriot, social reformer, renowned lawyer, and able administrator. If we talk about his key contributions, he participated in agitations against Rowlatt Act, non-cooperation movement, Vaikom Satyagraha, and civil disobedience movement. Rajaji, as a member of Constituent Assembly from Madras, contributed to constitution making. Later on, he served as the last Governor General of India till 1950 and lastly formed Swatantra Party, etc. Through his actions, he showcased the values of patriotism, leadership, integrity, and more.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The executive chairman of NALSA highlighted that over 7 crore 70 lakh cases were resolved through 3 National Lok Adalats or NLAs organized by NALSA in 2024. NLAs are Lok Adalats held on a single day across the country at regular intervals in all courts from the Supreme Court to Taluk levels. Lok Adalats are an alternative dispute redressal mechanism where civil or criminal cases at pre-litigation level are settled or compromised. Opposition has moved a motion of no confidence against Rajya Sabha chairperson. As per Article 64, the Vice President shall be ex officio chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Constitutional removal procedure notice period is a 14-day notice is to be given prior to moving a resolution, outlining clear intentions. ICRI SAT has been granted its first industrial design patent in India for a solar-powered water hyacinth harvester. The harvester provides a practical solution for rural farming communities struggling with water hyacinth infestations. It is cost-effective, saves time and labor, and utilizes clean energy. Additionally, it can be operated by semi-skilled or unskilled workers. UNEP has announced the Champions of the Earth Award for 2024. The Lifetime Achievement category has been awarded to Indian ecologist Madhav Gadgil for protecting people and the planet through research and community engagement. He is renowned for his work in the ecologically fragile Western Ghats region of India, a unique global biodiversity hotspot. As per study, about 33% of the world's sandy beaches have hardened. Bay of Bengal occupies first position with 84% coastal hardening. Coastal hardening refers to rigid, semi-impermeable structures created by humans that alter natural landscape potentially obstructing shoreline retreat and landward translations of sandy beaches. INS Tushil F-70 has been commissioned into the Indian Navy in Kaliningrad, Russia. INS Tushil is an upgraded Krivac third-class frigate and the seventh ship of Project 1135.6. This project includes 6 ships already in service, comprising 3 Talwar class and 3 Teghri class frigates, all built in Russia. Receivables securitization is gaining popularity among MSMEs for accessing liquidity. Receivables securitization is a financial process where companies convert their accounts receivable into cash by selling them as securities in the capital markets. Companies pool their receivables and transfer them to a third party which finances the purchase by issuing securities that are sold to investors in the financial markets. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, or SEBI, has expanded the scope of the optional T+0 rolling settlement cycle. The optional T+0 settlement cycle will now be available for the top 500 stocks in terms of market capitalization as of December 31st. The T+0 settlement cycle refers to a mechanism wherein the settlement of trades is completed on the trade date itself, ensuring that shares are credited to the investor's account on the same day. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description below.